Good morning from sunny Sarajevo. I hope you guys can hear me really well on camera. I thank you for your patience for waiting a little while for me to do another Form Friday. And I thought that since this is my first week here, I'll be here till August 10th and doing feedback from here, finding myself a gym, finding ways for myself to get into a routine and work out. I think it's a great way to be able to see what my clients also go through when they are trying to find a rhythm and trying to find a way to keep up with their workouts. So I'm feeling like I'm in the same boat as all of you right now, trying to find my way around this new city. A little bit of feedback. I am originally from Bosnia, but I'm not from Sarajevo. My husband has a family here, so we're visiting them and just kind of trying this whole, nomad situation. It's not easy because we are also traveling with two kids. And they have their own things. My oldest is actually working with a private coach here to kind of hone in on some of his swimming skills. And then next week he'll be joining the swim team here for the next few weeks while we're here. So lots happening in my world right now, but I think it's all good stuff, and it's really good to put yourself in an uncomfortable position once in a while where you don't know the city, you don't know how things work around here, and I think it's a great way to kind of compare it to new movements and new things that we're doing in our online community. So what I thought today would be a good thing to do is go over some of the basic movements and what's more basic than the push-up. So when you look at your programming, whether you're in my prenatal, in my postpartum rehab, or if you are in the Motherhood Athlete program, at some point you will see the push-up. The push-up is a staple. It never goes away. It will be there in programming all the time, and you can work on your push-up forever and ever. It is an incredibly important movement for women because it seems that on average, a lot of our lower body gets used, and we're very strong in our lower bodies, and the upper body kind of gets neglected a lot of times. So the push-up is a wonderful way to strengthen your back and arms and shoulders and pec muscles. It's just such a wonderful movement. It's a full body movement. So I start everybody off in an elevated position. So what elevated means to you is very different than what it means to me or someone else in the program, and it's all correct. So whether you elevate yourself on a dining room table first, whether you elevate yourself on a wall, it's all the same, and the same things will come up, right? And as you go into progressing the push-up, you will go lower and lower and lower. Some of you saw eccentric push-ups in programming as well. So eccentric push-ups are going to be on the floor, but you're only trying to spend a lot of time and energy on the lowering phase, where the up is on your knees. So what I want to go over is the floor push-up, because the elevated push-up is the same thing. But I want to go over some of the major things that people forget to do when in a floor push-up. So one of the major things is you want to have your hands right underneath your shoulders. You want to make sure that you are protecting your shoulders in your push-up. The second thing is having your elbows being 45 degrees away from your body. So if you flare your elbows in a push-up, so you flare out here, you're putting your shoulders in danger of injury because you really aren't supporting your shoulders. Whereas at 45-degree angle, you can tap into engaging your lats as well as really working the shoulder blades. And you've got some really large muscles in your back to help with the push-up. Out here, it's really a lot in your shoulder, and if you don't have strong shoulders, injury is kind of inevitable if you continue doing it. So we want to make sure that you have a 45-degree angle from the body to your elbow in your push-up position. Another thing in the push-up is once you get into that plank, you want to have wide feet. So your feet should be about shoulder width apart or even a little bit wider. I'm sure you see push-ups being done like so, and that is not incorrect. I just want to teach you this tripod position because I believe that this position here is a very stable position to start doing your push-ups in. One thing that people do a lot is that they don't tap into their core strength here. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that once you get into that plank position, you take that pelvis, and if you watch my pelvis, I'm going to tuck it under, all right? And I'm going to squeeze my quad muscles, okay? So squeeze your thighs, lock out your knees, and then take your heels and then you push them back, all right? Now you've got your legs engaged, your leg muscles, and then you also, as you tuck that pelvis, you keep it tucked, and the ribs will come down as well. So it's almost like you want the ribs and the pelvis to kiss in the center around the belly button area, right? So you kind of have that picture in your head, and when you are there, that is going to be a great plank position to start your push-up in. So, hands under your shoulders, elbows out at 45 degrees. You're gonna take your pelvis, you're gonna tuck it, take your heels, you're gonna push them to the back wall, and make sure that you engage your legs. So in the push-up position, it isn't an upper body or a core movement, it's a full body movement. And at the end, I'm gonna go over some of the important things to kind of check off in your head before you lower into your push-up position, all right? So that is the plank position for the push-up. Next, when you're here in your push-up and you have that nice strong position, I want you to think about taking your elbows and screwing them into the center, right? You're gonna take your elbows, you're gonna go screw it in, right? Take them, screw them in. What that does, it will actually engage the lats, right? When you're here, you do that screw motion towards the outside like a screwdriver, right? You're going to get the lats to lock in better, okay? So when you get into that position, you're gonna go tuck that pelvis, engage your legs, make sure that you screw your elbows in. You're gonna go inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up, all right? Try to reach as low as possible with your body to the floor without reaching with your head first. If you see that your head is doing that turtle thing, what you want to do before you start the push-up is tuck your chin in and hold it tucked. This way the head isn't going to protrude forward on the way down, and it won't be the first one leading your body. So you want to make sure that you check in with yourself before you go down in your push-up. All right, are my hands under my shoulders? Are my elbows at 45 degrees away from my body? Is my pelvis tucked? Are my ribs coming down towards my pelvis? Am I feeling my abdominal muscles firing, all right? Another thing, squeeze your bum, all right? Squeeze your ass. And that'll give this push-up a lot of power. So here is that starting push-up position again. You're going to tuck that tailbone, squeeze your legs, push the heels to the back wall. You want to make sure that the ribs and the pelvis are coming towards one another. See how ugly my ass looks like? That's what you want. You want an ugly ass. Hands right under my shoulders, elbows out at 45 degrees. I'm going to go inhale down, exhale to come up. Inhale down, exhale to come up. All right? That's it for the floor push-up. This is something that you can take into your elevated push-up position as well. And as you get stronger, you will be moving lower and lower in your push-up. The secret with the push-up is the more you do it, the better you get at it. And I understand that that's kind of like everything else, but the push-up in particular is like that. If you put it in a few times a week, you will get a lot better, faster in it than if you just do it once a week. So I have clients that I train one-on-one in person who pass by their stairs and do some elevated push-ups, who pass by their dining room table and will do some elevated push-ups. The push-up is so easy and you don't need any equipment for it that you can really practice it multiple times a week if you want to. A couple here, a couple there, like micro amounts of reps throughout the week. If that's your goal, if your goal is to really get better at push-ups, I suggest using the tips that I just gave you and then putting them into your daily life and just kind of like sprinkling them. Do a few here, a few there, just when you remember. If your kid is playing on the floor, come down on their level and try to do some eccentric push-ups or elevate on a toy box or something like that. So there's a lot that you can do to improve in your push-up. It's just consistency and trying to fit it in throughout the week a few times. I'd say 3 to 4 times a week, few reps is going to get you a lot faster results in your push-up. And of course, sticking with upper body exercises and things like that, where you can really strengthen the upper body so that it can hold, the arms can hold you up. So I hope this was helpful. Give me some feedback. And I really love doing these Form Fridays. So any movement that's really interesting to you or that you're struggling with or that you want to get better at, just write it in Discord and I'd be more than happy to go over that movement. I hope you all have a wonderful week and I'll talk